Wow, isn't this a horrible sight? Liverpool are top of the league, and you know what? They deserve to be there. They've been fantastic today. They weren't at their best, but I think when it comes to title races, you've got to win when you're not at your best. You've got to get the 3 points. Leicester took Arsenal to the 96th minute or so, and Manchester City dropped points, and Liverpool have capitalised on that. And one thing I will say is we need to take Liverpool serious. Now, I've done a video last week with Rodri's injury saying, Liverpool and Arsenal are the title favourites. But when I've looked at mainstream media, it's just Arsenal, 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 Pep Arteta, Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. It seems to be, it's Arsenal's title. But Liverpool are top of the league. Liverpool took the title race up until the final month last year. They have some good players. I know they don't have a good transfer window. I know they've got a new manager. And as much as I don't want Liverpool to be in the title race talk, the mainstream media, they need to put a bit of respect on Liverpool and start taking them as serious as Arsenal. I do think Arsenal favourites to win it just because of, they're a bit closer to Manchester City last year and had a better transfer window. But Liverpool can win the league. Now, I don't know if they will. Maybe the depth could be a problem and all of that as well. Because they didn't have the best transfer window. I think potentially, depth for Robertson, a left centre-back, potentially depth in case something happens to Gravenberch. Who knows? But we're here to talk about the Liverpool 2-1 Wolves game, and we're here to talk about the title race. And I have to say, Liverpool are top of the league. They've only conceded 2 goals so far this season. They have the best defensive record. And do you know what? They did enough to beat Wolves today. They weren't as good as they were against Manchester United, unfortunately, because you have to be at your best every time you play Manchester United. But they did the job today. It was a very professional performance. And if you get the 3 points, boom. And considering they underperformed their XG and Wolves overperformed their XG, you can look at the metrics and or just watch the game. That would probably be the best thing to do. And, from watching the game, Liverpool did enough to get the 3 points. Wolves, to be fair to them, they made it difficult. Liverpool made some silly mistakes between Konate and Alisson at the back. But you look at the XG, you look at the expected threat. Liverpool did have more opportunities. I think Szoboszlai almost scored when Robertson laid it into him. There was a time where Salah was through and then I think he played the most awful pass to Curtis Jones. So let's talk about Liverpool. Because I think they took advantage of City dropping points. They've gone top and I keep hearing Pep Arteta. Oh, Arteta can win it. Arteta can win it. Look, if I was to put a guess, if it wasn't City, I'd probably say Arsenal are just slight favourites. But Liverpool aren't being brought up in this conversation by the mainstream media. And I think Liverpool can win the title this year. I hope they don't. And I think there's a long way to go. We're only in September. But they're not in that. I'm not seeing mainstream media talking about Liverpool and being in a title race. I'm just hearing Rodri's injured. This is Arsenal's time. It's their Pep Arteta game. But you've got to give credit to Slot. Now, I think Wolves controlled the opening 15 minutes. Wolves looked very good. And I think Liverpool grew into the game. I think Liverpool got into the game. I think towards the end of the first half, they were quite good. They got the goal. They had that period where they were on top. Obviously conceded a City goal, won a penalty. Salah puts it away. And look, Salah's one of those where he can be extraordinary and then crap at the same time. Now, I rate Salah. I think he's a good player and, he's going to be a big miss for Liverpool if he does go this season because of his output is crazy. But sometimes you think this guy is so extraordinary. He'll put a penalty away. He'll score you a winner. But the simplest pass, you're like, what are you doing? Harvey Elliott, I am sure he'll make an impact when he gets back. He looks like I think he'll make an impact when he's back. I think Liverpool were struggling a little bit to maybe break down the low block and make that final pull just to get through Wolves who defended well. And I could see a role for Harvey Elliott, where Szoboszlai's playing, I think, potentially in midfield, because I actually think that, Liverpool's midfield depth is decent. I know a lot of Liverpool fans don't 100% rate Curtis Jones, but there's a good player and a good profile there. Harvey Elliott's an exciting profile. I just think it's depth for the Gravenberch position. You've got Endo there, I think he's a good player, but Slot doesn't seem to favour him because of his abilities on the ball. But I thought that Liverpool did enough for a clean sheet. Alisson made some good saves, but they did cost themselves through a mistake. I think the passing from them was sloppy at times, but for the most part, they showed the quality. They scored the goals. They did enough to win the game. They come away with 3 points. They're top of the league. But we're going to talk about the genius that is Ryan Gravenberch. Now, if you know me, you know that I've been talking about Ryan Gravenberch for 3 years. I said 2 years ago, actually about a year and a half ago, it was the January window where he just joined Bayern Munich. He wasn't playing for Bayern, and I was saying, actually get Gravenberch in January. I think we got Sabitzer or Weghorst instead. When Eriksen was injured, I was like, actually get Gravenberch in January. I remember watching him and was like, oh, he's gone to Bayern. I wish Ten Hag had brought here. I watched him at Ajax. And I remember when he joined Liverpool, I said that this would be a really good addition for Liverpool. And then he was okay for Liverpool last year, hit and miss. He was sort of getting rounded into that role. But as someone that watched Gravenberch at Ajax and knew his qualities, you know, I knew that there was a player there. And Arne Slot has brought out that player in Ryan Gravenberch. I mean, today he was fantastic. 100% tackles won 3 out of 3. 100% duels won 8 out of 8. 91.7 pass accuracy. 4 fouls won, 6 time possession won. Now, Ryan Gravenberch's always had the technical attributes, the running, the carrying power. He's always been a guy that can carry the ball, run past people. He's got the legs, he's got the strides, he can break the lines, he can receive the ball at any angle. But the question was, would he have the defensive awareness to play as a DM? Would he have the defensive contributions? And he is showing that. Champions League, Manchester United, you know, all of these games, even when you lost to Forest, he was your best player. He has been Mr. Consistent. And the Ryan Gravenberch that I watched at Ajax that I thought, wow, is the Ryan Gravenberch that I am seeing under Arne Slot. And you have to give Arne Slot credit for that. He's improving Gravenberch. He's improving Diaz. He's a manager that's come in with basically no new signings, improving the players. And I think he's done a fantastic job. Obviously, he inherits a great squad. And, you know, obviously he does. But Ryan Gravenberch, wow. And I think Cody Gakpo will be a big success under Slot as well. I just think it's difficult for him because he's got to compete with Diaz, who has been so good. But the mad thing is, Ryan Gravenberch is 22. He's only going to get better. And I still think his best position is as a number 8 and not a number 6. But he's basically been man of the match contender in every game he's played this season. Maybe not man of the match in every game, but contender, top 3. He played in a very isolated 6 role today, and his movement, defensive awareness, and ability and build-up was very good. He's got the legs, his ground coverage, his strides, his running power, his physical abilities is amazing. And I think that's why he's played as a 6, because he can cover so much ground. He's strong, he's fast, he can chase people down. He's got the legs, he's got the running power. But when you combine that with technical ability and then obviously mentality, you've got to have a good mentality. But a poor year at Bayern, a mixed year at Liverpool, and then you come out this year out of position, 22 years of age, and put in the shift. He's got the mentality as well. I think he's been fantastic for Liverpool. I think he's the new man. You missed out on Subamende. We all laughed at you. Caicedo's like, rivals aren't laughing now. You know, you missed out on Moises Caicedo to Chelsea, and then you got Endo, and Endo ended up being an absolute gem, and everyone was laughing at you there. Liverpool seemed to have a way. So let's talk a little bit about Gravenberch. This is Data MB, one of my favourite sites when I do analysis to look up players. But their highest performing midfielder of the season is Gravenberch, and that makes pretty much sense because I was talking about which midfielders in the Premier League have stood out to me, and I actually listed 4 of these 5 players before even seeing these statistics. But if you look at some of his statistics this year, Ryan Gravenberch, he is first for forward passes, he is first for accelerations, he is second for progressive runs, third for passes, 4th for interceptions, 5th for defensive actions, and 5th for defensive duels. So he is putting in a shift in progressing the ball, build up. He's helping in all phases of play, defensive, moving the ball forward. Even in the final third, he's contributing a little bit. But when it comes to his ball carrying abilities, accelerations, driving the ball from deep, progressive runs, he shines. But he's making the interceptions, he's winning his duels, he's covering the ground. It just shows that he's really been doing it all for Liverpool this season. Another player that I think had a very good performance, and I think I'll be slept on a bit because I think there's always so much expected of him because he's such a good player, is Virgil van Dijk. I thought Virgil van Dijk was absolutely fantastic today for Liverpool. I thought he put in an absolute solid performance and didn't put a foot wrong. You know, very good on the ball, very good at, you know, playing out from the bat. You know, I think ball progression via pass was the highest on the pitch at 7.99, breaking the lines, playing it through. You know, just a strong, composed leader at the back. You know what you get with Van Dijk playing as well. So I thought he had a good performance. And I think bar the mistake, Konate had a good performance. I think if it wasn't for the mistake, you would say Konate had a good performance for that. There was just a little lack in concentration. And obviously he got a goal. The only good thing about that is he is in my FPL. But Konate so far this season is first for aerial duels, first for progressive passes, first for full passes, second for progressive passes, second for accurate progressive passes, second for final third passes, third for tackles, and 4th for aerial duels won. Basically showing that this guy is good on the ball, he's good at playing out from the back, he's unbelievable in the air, he's obviously a set piece threat both defensively and offensively, but he's playing out from the back well, he's passing the ball well, but also tackles. You know, he's making a lot of tackles. And I think when you think of like a defender that can defend against the Haaland, the profile of defender you'd want to come up one-on-one against Haaland, you would describe Konate. Someone that is fast, someone that is tall, someone that can trap the runners, that can defend 1v1, but someone that is also good in the air, but also he needs to be good on the ball and playing out from the back, and you get that in Konate. So that's my roundup of the Liverpool game. Liverpool weren't at their best, but they are top of the league, and I think they deserve to be top of the league. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. Bye.